Hello Aries, it's Yvonne here from the Aussie Goddess, here to do your weekly reading for September the 24th to the 30th. Before I start, I want to say thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. I'm really grateful for the response I've had and I'm loving all of your comments, so thank you. If my readings don't resonate with you, that's fine. You can move on to the next reader, or if you want to, you can check out other aspects of your birth chart. Sometimes your moon, rising or ascendant and or your Venus will resonate with you more than your sun sign. So Aries, what's happening for you this week? Cards I'm using, Ciro Marchetti's Gilded Tarot for this reading. And here we go. So your card is the Page of Swords. Now, the Page of Swords can take on a number of energies. He's obviously a page. He's a young energy. He's a new star. He's a new start in speaking up for yourself. He also can be the person scrolling past you on your Facebook page and checking you out. Because I forget sometimes he's a little bit sort of curious, this little page. He wants to be watching you. He's watching over you. He could be keeping an eye on what you're doing, who you're dating, who you're seeing. Now, I don't want to scare you by doing that, but usually it's someone who's interested in a new start with you. It can also be a message. It can be a message of truth. It could be a message of someone coming to you and telling you that they're, in love with you or they don't like you or whatever. But it can be someone coming with the truth. That generally is a very new energy. It's a fresh energy. It's a restart. So it's not a big energy. Okay. So Aries, first card out is the World. So it looks like a week for you to be closing out a cycle. The World can talk about world travel, but it generally talks about coming to the end of a cycle in your life. Now, I'm not quite sure what this is in reference to yet, but this card has made its appearance a few times today. So it could be in line, I think, with a full moon coming up, which would be quite relevant, being there's a full moon in the back of the picture. But it's a time for us to clear out something that no longer serves us. So I'm sure that resonates with you on some level. Okay, next card out is the Eight of Pentacles. Now, you look like you're working really hard at something here. So you've been trying to get something up and running. And I feel like you've done this a number of times and it hasn't worked. And that would make sense seeing this card here. Because somehow or another you keep doing things the same way. As you can see, they've already made 7 pentacles and the 8th one looks exactly the same. So I'm not sure if you're working towards something to perfect it, or whether you're doing something and cycling it so many times without realizing you're doing the same thing over and over. So for example, with relationships, you might always have relationships. They might always break down, but you have never gone inside to understand what your part is in that. Now, I'm not saying you're responsible. I'm not saying you're to blame. I'm saying what is your part? Because sometimes we forget that everything in life is a lesson and we need to understand what was our part in that lesson. What can we take away and learn from that? Because if we don't, we repeat the behaviour over and over again. The universe just keeps giving us the same person, the same situation, the same job, until we learn how we can learn from that how we can better ourselves and be more self-aware. Okay, the next card out is the Nine of Swords. So whatever this is, it really is troubling you. It's keeping you awake at nights, worrying about this. So perhaps you've realised you're cycling on something. Maybe you realised you're cycling on something, but you just don't know how to put that right. And I say to people often in private readings when you're doing this, sometimes things like meditation, time out, taking a holiday, spending time alone, all of those things help you because it gives the universe time to bring in messages on how you need to do something. But for you here, you're definitely having sleepless nights about it. Interesting. Okay, and then we have the Seven of Pentacles. So it looks to me like you've been trying to wait for something to grow. You've put these things out into the universe, but you're not understanding why it's not coming back to you. I think that you're seeing that there's a problem or issue here with something you're not doing right, but you don't have the answers yet. In fact, I'm surprised that, yeah, well, there is a couple of moons here, I guess. It's like you need to understand how to do things differently, and you're quite frustrated about why it keeps happening. But you've definitely tried to manifest, or you've tried to put seeds in. Maybe you work on relationships, but you can't get to the point of stability. Maybe you've been putting work into jobs, but you can't get a permanent job. You can only get casual work. What are you trying to do? Maybe you keep getting jobs where you keep working for people who are real bullies, and you don't understand why you keep picking those jobs up. Maybe you've been trying to save money, and it doesn't matter what you do, you always spend more than you can save. But whatever it is here, you're understanding now that there's a cyclic pattern here, and you need to resolve why that's happening. Okay, so then we have the Knight of Swords. So this is you going in, or someone coming into you here. This is someone coming to you with the truth. This is something for you. This is some sort of truth that's going to bring clarity to you here. Okay, so this person, the Knight, he comes in fairly quickly. He's not the quickest Knight, but then he's not at all slow. But the thing is, he's got his sword held high, which means that he's ready to tell you something. And because he's ready for battle, sometimes this expression that he has, these words he has to say, can come out quite sharp and cutting. It could be that, you know, someone is coming in to cut you out of their life. I know that's pretty harsh, but maybe someone has had issues and problems and doesn't understand why they need to have this conflict with you. But whatever it is, it's a truth, and it could hurt because it is a harsh truth. But somehow or another, it's putting you on a pathway here. It's coming from a Queen of Wands by the looks of it. Okay, so the Queen of, well, actually, you could be this card because you're an Aries, and this is the card of Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. This could be you. Maybe you're really like standing in your power here. You're in this place where you feel very confident, very self-assured, you have everything going the way you want to, but something just keeps falling over. I don't know what that is for you. Aries, you would know what I'm talking about here. But something never comes to fruition. So it may be that you've always wanted marriage, but your relationships never get to that point. But whatever it is, you've started to realise something is not right here, and you want to work on it now. You've put a lot of energy into this. But what I can say to you, this person who's coming in with this truth is going to help you move on a path. Okay, yeah, it could be a person that you've either had a relationship with or a new person coming in. So I can tell you now, this new person's coming in. I don't want to say to save you because it's what they're saying to me. It's like this is your knight in shining armour, okay? Even if the truth's harsh, it's still your knight. And I say that because with the Lovers here, there's a choice on what to move forward on and what not. So maybe the cycles you're undergoing is you're picking the wrong people. Maybe it's not about the situation. Maybe you're not picking the right people for you, and this person's coming in to show you that they are the right person for you. But there's definitely love here, and I feel like you don't understand what you're doing wrong in relationships. That's the main feel here, but you will relate that to your personal story. So we then have the Six of Pentacles, so there's balance to be done here. I've had a lot of readings today where this idea of equal giving and taking does not happen in a lot of relationships. There seems to be a lot of relationships breaking down because people go in thinking, you know, that they don't have to love someone, care for someone and respect them, and the other person's bending over backwards trying to make it work, and the other person just is emotionally shut down or cold. So with the Six of Pentacles, what they're talking about here is having an equal give and take. And the only way you can do that in relationships is if you're both open, you both talk about what you want, and you both have the same destination. Because if you're on different pages, it's never going to work. So maybe this is the problem here. Okay, so you could be dealing with the King of Pentacles. You could be dealing with an earth sign here. If this Queen of Wands is your energy, I feel that this isn't the person you're dealing with. So not necessarily male, as we know, but someone who has this energy, this very grounded, down-to-earth, direct, straightforward way of doing things. They're very practical, organised, structured. They're usually quite stable. Their money's stable, you know, their work's stable. You could be one of those people who always goes after the bad boys or the bad girls, Aries. And maybe this person isn't like that, but you didn't see them coming here. Because they're coming in and you're thinking this isn't the right sort of person for you. They don't fit your type. They're different. They're not somebody you would have been with before. They could be older than you. They could be much more settled than you. But this is the person that's right for you here. So maybe this is why you're closing out this cycle. You have an understanding that you've been going for the wrong sort of people. And the King of Wands is at the end. So it's almost like it moves you up a level. It shuffles you into a better position. So in the middle of the reading, you're coming up as the Queen of Wands and you're confident and you're, you know, very attractive. You're wondering what's happening here, why you can't seem to get things through to the winning post. But now you will, because you've realised something about yourself and you've closed out this cycle. Very nice, Aries. Lovely little story there. Definitely coming to a point where you feel really like you're in your element now. So you've had a greater understanding of yourself. You've had this greater understanding of why you've not been able to get this to full fruition before. Lovely reading. Okay, let's do an oracle card on that. I like it a lot. Okay, so your card is the Dragonfly, and the Dragonfly talks about having confidence during this time of great joy, renewal and connection to spirit. And I feel like that's how you're going now, closing out this cycle. Very nice. Thanks, Aries.